Hello, guys. Welcome to the new year. 2023 looks like it's going to be a very profitable year for majority of traders. As always, I'll be posting my ideas, but the actual setups I'll be posting them on my Instagram page. So I have a few pairs I wanted to just give my own opinion where I think they will head next. Uh, Naturally, I'm a swing trader, so the trades I am looking for, definitely I'm looking to hold them for the long term, as opposed to trading on a daily or a weekly basis. So I'll start with Bitcoin versus the US dollar. My assessment, my assessment of this pair is that it's still in a bearish decline. You will see that I have drawn an arrow targeting the levels of 12,000. For me, that is the long-term outlook for Bitcoin versus the dollar. Actually, no, that's the medium-term outlook. Long-term outlook is once it touches this level of 12,000, it's likely to go back to the levels of 45,000. But in the short term, what is Bitcoin doing? In the short term, what I expect it to come up to these levels of 17,600, 17,800. As we can see, let me just adjust my chart. As we can see, there's an efficiency and a fresh order block sitting up here. So we expect to come and mitigate this supply, then continue downwards. And I think you will see majority of the pairs versus the dollar, they'll keep going up before they resume their bearish momentum. So for me, Bitcoin versus the dollar is a bearish momentum, long term. But as I said, actual setups I'll be posting on my Instagram page. I'll go to the gold versus dollar. I had earlier posted a video. I had earlier posted a video sometime in December, and I was telling you my expectation is for it to mitigate this region and go down. But I am changing my assessment and I'm changing my expectation in that we have an unmitigated zone up here of 1940, 1972. And if I move to the monthly, my assessment of gold is that it's in a bearish decline. There's this break of structure here. It has come back to mitigate this supply. And once it mitigates this supply, my expectation is that gold will resume the slide to these new levels of 15 to 1600, 1500 levels. But as again, I keep emphasizing the actual setup. I will post it on my Instagram page once it forms, once it respects my two conditions of change of character and break of structure. And I'm recently battling with the proposal to introduce a third condition on the daily. If we have a change of character on the daily, also we will confirm that trade. So gold for me in the interim, we expect it to get to the levels of 1940, 1970 before it slides to the levels of 1500, 1600. It's more or less the same outlook I have on silver, but silver seems to be ahead. Silver for me looks like it's already mitigating this level. There was a break of structure, sorry, there was a change of character here, and it's mitigating this week monthly supply. So once it's complete, we expect it to come to this level of the weekly demand, the 16, 1700 level. So for me, in the short term, gold and silver are bullish, but in the long term, they are bearish. I also want to give you my assessment of GBP USD. This is one trade that I am really looking forward to. Already, I must share that there's a video I did about bias in forex trading. I took a short position on GBP USD that was ill-informed, and I ended up number one blowing one. I think I blew two accounts, and I also failed a prop farm exam, the challenge. I know I had passed one prop farm. I had passed the challenge phase. I was not in the verification phase. I failed. One prop farm I was in the challenge phase and I failed, and it was a painful experience, but a worthwhile experience because I was trading what I was not seeing. Again, bias in forex trading. So for me, uh, GBP USD, the outlook for me is bearish in the long run. I have this unmitigated region of 1.16, 1.14. On the weekly, on the weekly, It has already mitigated this region, and if I go to the 4 hour, if I go to the 4 hour, I have a change of character, and I have a break of structure. I have another break of structure. So for me, even if I go back to the daily, sorry, let me clear this up. If I go back to the daily, I have a break of structure on the daily. So for me, this is a confirmed sell. And my ideal entry point number one is here, this fair value gap marker, or this region 1.23425, or the liquidity that is sitting up here 1.240. Any of those regions could be the ideal entry point. And where I'm targeting 1.1, 1.16, 1.14, and the liquidity that is sitting at 1.136. So again, my outlook on GBP USD short term is a bullish correction, but the long term is bearish. I'll also share my outlook on AUD JPY. Commodity dollars are my favorite pairs. I seem to have developed a good relationship with them. AUD versus any other pair, NZD versus any other pair. I seem to have developed a very good relationship with them. So AUD JPY, and this is more or less the same assessment for all JPY cross pairs. They're in a bearish decline. There is a bearish order flow. But for AUD JPY, what I am looking for is targeting the region of 84.4, if not coming down to the region of 80. That is my long-term outlook. But my short-term outlook, if you look at the arrows I am drawing, I expect AUD JPY to come to the levels of 91.5, if not 93 levels. And for those of you who trade these patterns, this is a shoulder, this is a head, it's likely to form another shoulder here. Personally, I am looking at an inverted cup and handle, but anyway, inverted cup and handle, head and shoulder. For me, I'm using ICT concepts, smart money concepts. I am seeing this is a bearish order flow. I am only waiting for it to get to the region of 91 to 93, possibly even 94. Then I'll look for a sell setup targeting the 84 region. I'll also share my outlook on NZD USD. If I look at NZD USD on the monthly, I have this red arrow pointing downwards to this region of 5.451, and I have this blue one that I was targeting a break of structure, then a pull back to the upside, but that didn't happen. So it's likely to happen in the long run. But if I come down on the weekly, there's a weekly structure, there's a weekly supply that has been mitigated. So we are waiting for a proper setup to target the region of 0.54 or 0.56, depending if you are a swing trader, day trader, scalper. There are pips to be caught here. If I go back to the daily, I have a change of character and I have a break of structure that can be clearly seen on the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, you'll see I have a change of character, I have a break of structure, I have another break of structure here. So I am targeting one of these regions will be an entry point 0.641, 0.1517, or 0.644, because there's a liquidity here and there's another fresh order block sitting up here. Any of these regions could be an entry point. And where am I targeting to make my profit? There's this region 1 is 0.57, and there's 0.54. I mean, you can take any of those positions. We'll go to USD Japan. As I mentioned, all JPY pairs, we are looking at a bearish continuation of the bearish momentum. I had not prepared to give you NZD JPY, but I just want to show you. You're seeing my arrow predicts it's likely to come to this unmitigated in yellow or this green, then come back to this level. But chances are it will come back to the 76 level because there's a lot of inefficiency sitting down here. But that was not part of the pairs I was going to give you my analysis. So I'll give you USD JPY. USD JPY in the short term. In the short term, I mean in the next maybe 1 or 2 weeks, I expect it to break this region of 128, 127. This is an unmitigated region. And once it breaks this region, this is just my prediction. I'm not saying the market will do exactly that. Once it breaks this region, we are likely to see a return back to this region, 145, 146. Then maybe it will continue the slide downwards. I do not know. But what I know in the interim is that I expect it to, it seems to have already mitigated this fresh order block. I expect it to continue the slide downwards to 127, 128. So here, once it breaks this region, I'll be looking for a buy setup. If a buy setup doesn't form, I'll sit this one out. If a buy setup forms, where am I targeting to take my profits? I'm targeting 145, 146. And that will be about 19,000, 18,000 piece. That's about $160 on a micro lot. This will be a very good trade if it happens. If it happens. USD Canadian is another pair I am looking at. My long-term outlook is bearish. And why do I say my long-term outlook is bearish? Uh, Early November or early December, we had a change of character and a break of structure that created this slide here. We have seen the pair has come to mitigate. It has mitigated this supply zone. So it's looking to break this new structure. And one of the regions I'm targeting as a take profit is here or down here. But there's a fair value gap that is sitting down here. I can pick any region. I can pick any region. But if you go to the monthly chart, definitely this looks like a good profit target. This demand zone, this looks like a good profit target. So I expect USD Canadian to drop to 3.2 to 3.0. Thereafter, we will wait to see the direction it's likely to give us. As always, I insist that this is not a setup. This is just my prediction. I will give the actual setup on my page, Instagram page, AfroSwingFX. For those who follow, I will post my setups. And as always, I trade a micro lot and I'm a swing trader. So I purpose to hold between 2,000 to 7,000 pips. This year, particularly, I am looking to consistently catch 5 to 7,000 pips. That's approximately $40 to $50 per trade. Uh, in For those who I trade, I always insist that less is more, so I don't have to trade every other day. One trade per week or even two trades a month is sufficient. And I only trade if my setup shows me there's a trade, not because I feel like trading. In fact, one as I was doing this video, I just realized that there's a possibility we might, or people are likely to be surprised when they come to trade Euro USD. And I'll explain why I am changing my assessment. I have actually posted this on my Instagram page, but I'm likely to change my assessment. I see it looks like there's a change of character and then there's a break of structure. But my assessment is that I have a feeling, I just have this gut feeling that next week Euro USD is likely to come up here to this region of imbalance. Likely, I don't know. I'm just saying it's likely to come back to this region of imbalance. So one of the things that I'm likely to do on Monday is actually withdraw this. I have a sell limit on this. I'm just likely to withdraw it because I am not really convinced that this is a sell setup. Uh, Again, your position will keep changing as the market keeps giving you additional information. So you don't have to stick to one piece of setup and say that it must be a sell or a buy. Sometimes the market can give you additional information and you have to adjust accordingly. So I wish you the very best in 2023. For those guys who copy my trades, we are going to have a very successful year indeed. For those of you who are going to call on me to teach them, I'll be giving you grade A sheets, grade A content for you to use in your journey to becoming a forex trader. Thank you very much, and I wish you the very best in 2023.